2023 has been one heck of a year for gaming. There have been many highs, but sadly, oh so many lows. An overemphasis on next-gen graphics and skyrocketing minimum requirements, especially for PC, has delivered one too many a game in an unoptimized state at best, or a completely broken state at worst. Now, before I get to my list, I should mention my biases though. Games on this list have to be, at least have been played by me, so unfortunately no console exclusives. I tend to only play third-person action, adventure, survival horror type of games. I'm not into first-person shooters or first-person perspective at all. Click and point games or turn-based strategy games, no matter how good, just don't do it for me. And multiplayer, well, that's just never gonna happen. That being said, let's get into it. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Shortly put, Resident Evil 4 Remake was one of the best, if not the best gaming experiences of my life. Every time I thought, how could this game get any better, somehow it just kept on managing to do just that. So much so that by the end of my first playthrough, I just sat dumbfounded with one big old cheesy grin on my face. There really is just so much to love about this game. The characters are awesome, some making massive improvements from the original iterations. The visuals, well, they're just pretty much on the next level. The combat is up there with the best and it just never gets old. The boot knife, the parry, the sound of any of your weapons. It's absolutely insane. I played this game 5 or 6 times in a row. Is it obvious at this point that this is my favorite game so far this year? Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is a game that I was cautiously but still very excited for. What I didn't expect was to be completely obsessed with it just the way that I was though. Gorgeous visuals, so gorgeous in fact that my fastly becoming obsolete gaming laptop really struggled at times. Yet it was so worth it. I cannot overemphasize just how beautiful this game is, even on low settings. The combat lends a lot from the Resident Evil remake formula, but I'm not complaining as I love that genre. At the end of the day, the combat and the visuals pale in complexion to the thing I love most about this game, the story. Basic enough to follow along even for a newcomer, but complex enough to keep you scratching your head even after you think you figured it all out. And trust me, I did a deep dive into the symbology and the mythical elements found across all the Remedy games recently. Next level, to say the very least. Alan Wake 2 was a very close second for me in 2023. Dead Space Remake. Another game that absolutely blew me away this year was Dead Space Remake. Having not played the original series before getting news of the remake, I played them in the build-up to the release of Dead Space Remake. To say I instantly became a fan is an understatement at this point. The thing that makes the remake so good is that they blended elements of the original and Dead Space 2, making the remake essentially the best of both. It retains the absolute horror and oppressive feeling of the first game, but it also allows for more freedom of movement, as witnessed in the second game. The visuals got a massive rework in the remake, making this easily one of the best looking games of the year. The Dead Space remake makes up for the trio of my 3 favorite games of 2023. If you haven't played it yet or purchased it, it's frequently on 30 to 40% sale on both Steam and Epic stores. Returnal. Returnal was the first of 3 Sony exclusives to launch in 2023. Initially I thought it would be a nice way to kill some time until the Sony exclusive that I really was waiting for, The Last of Us Part 1, came out. What I didn't expect is for Returnal to hands down be my favorite exclusive to come out this year. A roguelite is not a genre of game I normally enjoy, but the absolute beauty and incredible difficulty of Returnal just kept me coming back for more. I couldn't believe that a game, especially not a Sony exclusive, was kicking my ass so freaking hard. It took me a good 25 odd hours to master the combat in Returnal, but boy, once I did, I breathed Returnal. I slept Returnal. I think I played this game on repeat for almost a month and a half at one stage. To be honest, I think in many ways Returnal was a standout game for me this year in terms of enjoying something so unexpected. Also, the fact that you have to get good at the game just to be able to finish it in the first place pretty much changed the difficulty I generally play games at now. A definite must in 2023. The Last of Us Part 1. To say I was excited for The Last of Us Part 1 is a bit of an understatement. A decade after the game initially launched on the PS3, I would finally be playing it for the very first time. What a time to be alive. What I wasn't expecting was for Naughty Dog and Iron Galaxy to simultaneously screw the pooch and wet the bed so badly. The state the game was launched in was everything short of just a disaster. Unplayable for many, littered with bugs and extremely poor performance for most. A game that I thought would easily be my favorite release for the entire year was pretty much spoiled at this point in time. The fact that this is considered to be one of the best games ever, only for it to receive such a poor port, is pretty disappointing. However, the game received an excess of 12 updates, which fixed many issues for the most part. The fact that I'm still including this on my best games list is a testament to the interaction between the wonderfully well written characters and a captivating story. As poor as the port is, and was, The Last of Us still remains one of my favorite games ever played. Hogwarts Legacy. I have to start off by saying I was never a big fan of Harry Potter, so I had little to no excitement for this game whatsoever. What I didn't expect was to become fully immersed in its lore, its combat, the weird little critters and animals, but mostly its beautiful world. This game had no right to be as enjoyable as it was, not for me in any way. How the hell did the developers manage to get me excited to go into Hogsmeade and pick out a new broom and a robe while I'm at it? Well, short story is they managed that and a whole lot more. From surprisingly robust and crunchy combat to jaw-dropping rides on the back of a hippogriff. I will end in saying this game had no right to be this enjoyable, but enjoy it I did in buckets and spades. Dead Island 2. Now in my intro, I made mention of the fact that I don't generally enjoy first-person shooter or perspective games. So to say I didn't expect to enjoy Dead Island 2 as much as I did is pretty much an understatement of epic proportion. The world is breathtakingly beautiful, albeit rather grim and bloody. The characters are pretty shallow, but in a comic booky type of way. Yet this game is genuinely addictive. It's been a while since I last ran around LA killing zombies and saving the world, but boy have I missed it. This is another game I sunk a good 2 to 3 weeks into non-stop. For a first-person shooter, this is easily one of my favorite games of all time, with the likes of Far Cry 3. Lies of P. I never got to play the full game, I only played the demo, but the demo genuinely got me excited for a Souls-like game like no other has before. It looks incredible, and the movement of the character seems leaps and bounds better than any other game in that genre, feels to me in any way. More than that I can't say, as I haven't played the full game, but this is definitely a game I intend on purchasing before the end of the year. Remnant 2. Remnant 2 is where I have to start researching the other releases of 2023 just to finish the top 10 list, so I think I'll end at 9. As Remnant 2 is a game I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with. I started really liking the game, the visuals are pretty good and the combat is pretty fun, but it becomes repetitive really fast. After 20 hours into the game, I clocked out. As beautiful as this world is, the fact that it's procedurally generated wears thin really fast. Remnant 2 got rave reviews from just about every YouTuber, so I really wanted to like it more than I did, but I just couldn't. There were many more releases in 2023, but sadly I didn't get to play everything, so I'll end as I began. An impressive year in terms of titles released, but a concerning year in terms of the state of some of them at launch. The normalization of patches post-launch to get a game to run properly is a trend I hope ends sooner than later. But these are just my picks. What do I know? I'm just a gamer set in my ways. Let me know in the comments which were your favorite releases and if my selection was either good or sucked balls. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button. If you have any questions, please hit me up in the comment section. And as always, if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed as of yet, now's the time to do so. Have a good evening, have a good day. It's people like you. Cheers.